and welcome to the Sunday Sketchbook Tour. Today will be interesting because I've been sick for a couple weeks and I have really bad brain fog for the last week. So I'm often confused and like already sometimes I have a hard time getting to the point. So it should be interesting. Gonna be a lot of babbling, I guess. But I have some good news. I've decided to go ahead and print my pandemic book, which right now is in like preliminary layout stage. I still have to really fix it, but I kind of had abandoned that project for now because the pandemic sucks and we're like still in it, and sometimes it's just kind of annoying to think about making a book about it. But every time I actually look at the book on, like, I have it on InDesign right now, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I actually love it because it takes you through all the little like peaks and valleys of the pandemic over the last 2 years. And I stopped it with Omicron in December. So that's kind of where I want the book to end. Because the idea is that it's a book about you learning how to deal with the pandemic. And by then, we kind of know how to do it. Like, I was feeling by December that I kind of knew how things were going to go now. Like, every winter, we have these lockdowns, etc., etc. So that's exciting. I'm going to do it the same way I'm doing this one, which is I'm going to print like a small batch, like for probably like a handful of people. Yeah, and that I don't have a date for, but I'd like to just like start working on it again. This one I do sort of have a date in mind. It's January 2023. I'm going to stop making this in September, like the end of September this year, and then spend the next 3 months getting it ready for print. So I've already been scanning the pages as we go so that it's not like such a big project. But yeah, so I was a few weeks ago thinking I would just make this first part into a little zine, but now I'm like, no, we're going to push through. We're going to go and just finish the whole thing. If you want to see what it looks like so far on the computer, look at my last week's sketchbook tour. I don't have too much to share, but it's going to be a long video because I can't think. Like, my brain is not working. But I added more to this page, which again, not sure if I'm going to include this. Guys, can you tell me if like this makes sense to you? Because this is really what this is every year around Christmas and New Year's. I just kind of draw the things that I want usually. Like, I draw the life that I want or the apartment that I want, and it's like a manifestation exercise. This was kind of like I was in a really dark place at the end of 2021, mainly because like everything in my life fell apart in November of 2021. I don't know what happened. Everything, like family, friendships, finances, my apartment, everything that went wrong could have gone wrong. It was really weird. Like, and then my mental health was also really bad, which was affecting my physical health. So, like, everything kind of was like a zero. Everything sucked. It was really awful. It made me rethink my whole life. Um, and it was a really dark time. So, there's me. Okay, things were bad. I was thinking of just making this kind of gray. And then, I was just thinking about, sometimes it's just comforting to think about some of the things you want to do. Things as simple as like skating or going for a swim, working on this comic book. There's a cat that I've been trying to rescue in our alley for like 9 months, Cleo, who I brought to a shelter a couple weeks ago. So that was a big deal. Different like art mediums that I want to try. This is like, I just want to buy some fluffy slippers. Things as simple as that. Moving. This is my coloring book. This is my pandemic book. Love to see those printed out. I'd love to be able to hold those in my hand. So just like that kind of thing. It's just like dreaming about really basic things that you could want that might just make you feel a little bit better in dark times, and then sometimes they come true. So I did that. Did some extra panels here. I like this one. Not sure about that one. And I'm going to do like this one. I'm probably going to crop. I don't really like this illustration. So I did make the trees a little bit less like lime green. This one is not possible because it's just not a good drawing. And then I did there's the cabin. I did my birthday page. I'm probably not going to include this, but it was just nice. It was fun to do. I had a really peaceful, quiet birthday. January, lockdown, pandemic, -20. Like, it wasn't very eventful. And yeah, it was very quiet. I did like chores, open gifts. Thankfully I had gifts to open. That's really nice. Fed the colony cats because it was a Saturday, normal stuff. Had breakfast. That looks like a Long Island iced tea, which is not what I had for breakfast, but on your birthday that wouldn't be so bad. And that's it. Should we just do like a flip through? It's been a while. If you want to see again like the actual order of the whole thing, you can go to my last week's sketchbook tour where I'll show you on the computer like the actual order, because these pages are now completely out of order with the story. I'm just gonna not talk and do a flip through. And then if you, of course I'm gonna keep talking. If you want to pause to look at something, you can do that. I also stopped doing these. I remember I told you I really want to do these like 2-page spreads. I use certain markers that like transfer onto the opposite page, so I'm gonna keep doing it like this way, where it's kind of like ugly on one side, pretty on one side. Here we go, and I've already started like chapter 2. This is like some panels about me moving. I've been trying to move for the last 9 months, but I've been packing for the last couple. Even though I don't have a place to go. But I'm packing in anticipation to leave. So just packing the stuff I don't immediately need and like off-season things, just to make myself feel like a little bit more like I have control. We're having like a rental crisis here, which it's happening kind of all over Canada, but it's actually like I've never had a living situation that I couldn't get out of. And this one feels like that. I'm in like not a great living situation right now because I'm having some problems with my landlord, and it's really hard for me to leave, which is weird. Like the apartment prices have gone up like 30% on last year. So the places aren't nicer, but you're paying way more. And these are like, the buildings in Montreal are old. Like you're paying way too much for a place that was built and renovated in like the 80s or the 60s, so it's pretty bad. Anyways, that's it. I hope that I made sense. My brain is not working properly. The brain fog is really bad. I'm going to get some test results in a few days to find out what is going on. I've had a sore throat for like 11 days. They're going to test me for mono as well. So hopefully this stops. I've missed 2 weeks of work, you guys. But yeah. And you know, I live alone, so when I get sick, it's like I have to keep going. I have to keep cleaning and cooking for myself. So pretty tired. Pretty tired, and hopefully next week I don't feel this way. But I hope you have a really good day, week, end of the month. Love you guys.